So really briefly, I just wanted to go over a model that I've been working on for like the past, let's say, month and a half, and the progress with it, and basically what it's for and what it's based off of, right? So just to start, I was looking at a scaled down version of this model, Dreamerv3, and specifically I wanted this model in particular because of the state space model that it used, right? So this right here was the scaled down version of Dreamerv3, and this was basically a model-based RL world model where you can have simulated experiences within the sort of AI brain, and so that instead of having to just learn through trial and error over and over and over again, making mistakes, it can instead learn from the simulation, from taking in information at the pixel level and going through a process and then processing that information within the brain. So this right here is, again, the scaled down version of it that I based my work off of. So I know this is pretty complex, and there's a lot of things you got to keep in mind with this. So just to get a head start and start learning about how it actually functions in real time, I just went with this instead, right? So these are just some of the logs that I've basically ran on the model. So they took anywhere from like a 7 to, I think the longest one was like about 14 to 15 hours. And this was all done on my 4070. So this is actually the laptop version of the 4070. So it's not like some insane GPU. But, eventually I do want to actually get this scaled up to an actual cluster, right? So I have a company, I have a startup, and then basically through one of the startup programs, I was able to get access to credits, and I can actually train and run models on these clusters. But this is actually something that I wanted to do outside of the usual models that I used, because specifically I wanted to make it work with a sort of unorthodox training routine, right? So like most models are being trained nowadays with like backpropagation, and essentially why I think that's maybe not necessarily the best when it comes to like a certain class of problems is that it doesn't do continual learning, right? So essentially what I wanted to do was I wanted to sit down and figure out, are there some alternative learning models or learning algorithms I could use to essentially figure out, okay, how can I get this model to act in a way or to process information in real time and be able to make decisions on that real-time data. So in future videos, I'm going to go over and break down some of the data behind each one of these runs. So it's a lot, but basically I got it to the point to where it's sort of like a 0 to 1 transformation. So this wasn't really supposed to work the way that it did, but it ended up actually working. It's not necessarily to the point to where it's like a production level system, but again, even the fact that this even works at all is pretty incredible, because at least to my knowledge, I don't know any other sort of researcher that has done this so far. And basically what I did was I was able to get the system to ingest information in real time and run this through the simulated world model, right? So when it comes to RL agents, when most people think about streaming, reinforcement learning, that kind of stuff, or just an agent that can learn in real time in general, it's mostly based around the model-free paradigm, where essentially the model-free paradigm, you are learning from trial and error on either video frames, whatever, right? This, again, to my knowledge, is the first model-based RL agent, right? So again, you're taking in information in real time, and it's being spun around through the role models being processed, and then the agent is able to make better decisions based off of that. Now, originally this has been used, or this has been designed for the specific use case of robotics, but again, this could also be adapted to other domains as well. So in future videos, I am going to go over what domains I actually adapted to it for myself.